Sleep. How do I get more of it? Why am I not getting enough of it? And what the heck makes sleep so elusive? Well, aside from the genetic predisposition to be incapable of quieting the mind, sleep is related to your blood. It's related to your hormone balance, and I'm going to explain exactly what I mean. A lot of clients come into our clinics and they say, Gary, or they talk to one of our clinicians, our physicians, and they say, I just can't sleep. And they're looking for sleep medication, but before we go to sleep medication, which we very rarely ever do, we want to see if the right biophysiology is in place to make sure that you're sleeping properly. So ask yourself this question: why do the people that are the most exhausted sleep the worst? You would think that if you were exhausted, right? If you were exhausted, that would equal good sleep. But this is actually not the case. People that are the most exhausted sleep the worst. It actually equals bad sleep. Because what is the connection between sleep and exhaustion? Why, if I'm tired, can I not sleep? Because both of these are related to blood oxygen. If you're low on blood oxygen, you're going to be low on energy. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be anemic. And you don't have to have anemia in order to be low on oxygen. You just have to have a low number of red blood cells and a low amount of hemoglobin. So if you're tired all the time, or you lack the energy that you used to have, or you just feel like you can't get through the day, but then you lay down in bed and you're not able to get good, deep, restful sleep, it's because in both cases, you lack oxygen. Remember, our brain is very primal. It's not concerned about how we look or how we feel or how pretty we are or our skin or whether we're fat or skinny. Our brain is concerned about survival. And one of its primary concerns is blood oxygen. In fact, there's virtually nothing that your brain will not do to raise the level of blood oxygen in your blood. If you were to get up right now and go for a brisk walk, your brain would raise your respiratory rate and raise your cardiovascular rate, not because your brain knows you're walking, because your brain is watching blood oxygen drop. And as blood oxygen drops, it tries to raise blood oxygen by raising respiration and raising your cardiovascular rate. Well, what happens when you go to sleep? Well, as we get into a nice deep delta wave of sleep, which is also called REM sleep or deep sleep, when we get into a nice delta wave of sleep, what's happening to our respiratory rate? What's happening to our breathing, right? We are starting to breathe more shallow. Right? Our breathing rate declines. So as we start to get into a deep, restful delta wave of sleep, if our breathing gets more shallow, what else is going down? Oxygen. Well, what if your blood is already poor at transporting oxygen? Then as you start to breathe more shallow, you get dangerously low on oxygen. So as you get down into this nice, deep, restful area of sleep, your brain wakes you up. People that are exhausted look like a bouncing rubber ball going down a hallway when they sleep. And why is that? Because right here, the brain wakes you up. How does it wake you up? It pulses cortisol. So each time you start to get into a deep, restful sleep, it pulses cortisol to wake you up. Why? Because it's trying to save your life. It's trying to keep you from suffocating. So then what a lot of people do is they say, oh my gosh, I can't sleep because I don't have enough oxygen. Although they don't know that, they go to their primary care physician and say, doc, I can't sleep. So the doctor goes, well, let me give you some sleep medication. Zolpidem nitrate, diazepam, Valium, Xanax, whatever they give you. These sleep medications actually are not helping you sleep. They are blocking the brain's view of blood oxygen. And now your brain can't do its job. It can't save you. So it lets you get into a deep wave of sleep. And the next day, people wake up and they go, I hate taking Tylenol PM because it's still in my system the next day. That's not true. You're not feeling the effects of Tylenol PM still in your system. You're feeling the effects of having suffocated for the last 6 hours because you have been suffocating, not sleeping. That's why you have a headache. That's why you're foggy. That's why you're irritable and your mind is not clear when you wake up. But 20 minutes later, after you start moving around, you start to feel more clear. The headache goes away. It's not that it took 20 minutes for the drug to clear your system. It took 20 minutes for your blood oxygen to get back to normal. And we repeat this cycle over and over and over because we are not fixing the problem that's leading to a lack of sleep. You've seen me draw this tree before. I'm going to draw it one more time because in sleep, what we lack Up here in the leaves of the tree is oxygen. The same thing that's low in low energy is low in poor sleep. Oxygen is carried inside of the red blood cell in a fluid called hemoglobin, right? So if I'm low on oxygen, I'm low on energy. If I'm low on energy, I probably don't sleep well because I'm low on oxygen. So I need to raise my red blood cell count in hemoglobin, which means I need to get the bone marrow to produce more beautiful red blood cells and more hemoglobin, so my blood can carry more oxygen. This is one of the reasons why you want to balance your hormones, because hormones, and specifically testosterone, yes, women, you too, specifically testosterone, are a large part of putting pressure on the bone marrow to create red blood cells to carry more oxygen. And if you are low on testosterone, it's likely because you are low on the nutrient DHEA or low on the most important vitamin in the human body, vitamin D3. Can you believe that you might not be sleeping because you are deficient in vitamin D3 and DHEA? Leading to a low level of hormones, leading to poor bone marrow production of the key vesicles that transport oxygen, leading to low energy and poor sleep? Well, this is likely cause of why you are exhausted and you can't sleep. This is why you should get your blood checked and see what your hormone levels are so we can put this biometric chain back together. And once that's fixed, you'll get the deep, restful sleep that you deserve. It's just science.